Welcome to the Mounties Gaming Podcast. Grand Theft Auto Mod Group is working on a massive project called GTA 5 Liberty City. This will combine Liberty City with San Andreas. This mod has been under development for almost 3 years, and its beta test is scheduled for spring of 2017. This mod won't include the file for the game itself, so if you wish to download this mod upon its release, make sure you've bought GTA 4 or its episodes. This mod will only convert the map from the original game. Grand Theft Auto Mod Group in the past has ported GTA 3 into Vice City and San Andreas into GTA 4. However, GTA 5 Liberty City will be the first project of its caliber. That's not the only project they're working on. There's another team that is working on porting Red Dead Redemption into GTA 5, and OpenIV has laid the groundwork for the project. The Red Dead Redemption project is about to go into beta this summer. This just shows how fast the projects are moving. This should keep the fans busy till Red Dead Redemption 2 is released later this year. Grand Theft Auto was released 4 years ago, and many modders were working on its mods prior to its release. It is good to see the community work so hard for their favorite game and is keeping it fresh even till this day. GTA 4 was not a very great game since we had explored Liberty City as Cloud before, so it fell a bit short, but now connecting it with GTA 5 San Andreas will bring even more opportunities. Liberty City is old and gloomy, whereas San Andreas is noisy and lively. Now we can have the better of both and expand further than the base games ever could. GTA 5 is currently available on PC, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. However, the GTA 5 Liberty City beta will be exclusive to PC. You're listening to the Mounties Gaming Podcast. This is the Mounties Gaming Community Podcast, and I'm here today with Corporal Tyler. Corporal Tyler, how are you today?
I am great. How are you?
Excellent. I have a few questions for you for the podcast today. First of all, how did you discover Mounties Gaming Community?
So I discovered Mounties Gaming, like a lot of other members, off of Ranger Scope's YouTube. I probably started watching around the RCMP days, and I finally took it upon myself to join about 2 years after I started watching.
Okay, and how long have you been here?
I've been here, I'm coming up on 10 months, I believe. I joined early July of 2016.
Okay, so a fairly new member.
Yep.
And what keeps you here? What drives you to stay in the community? What do you enjoy most?
So I really enjoy the interaction. As much as I love patrols, really where I have the most fun is the people in this community, the great people that, have really become my friends. We joke, we play games, and the interaction is just amazing in this community with how many new people you meet and how many friends you make. That's really a lot of fun.
Great answer. Where do you see yourself long term? Say 6 months to a year?
That's a hard question. I don't know. Anything is possible here, so I guess I kind of see myself staying in Watch 1. I don't know what my position is going to be in Watch 1 in a year, but again, anything can happen here, so.
But you're also an emergency medical responder. Tell me about that. What is it that you do as an EMR?
So I'm an on-call EMR, so what an on-call EMR does is, when Safe is in game, I am always available to help. So say I will respond to anything with possible mass casualties. So say the on-duty safe members, they don't have sufficient amount of manpower. Pretty much what I will do is I will be called by one of the safe members. I will go to the closest fire station. I will grab a medic and I will respond to whatever incident is happening.
Very interesting. And so far, what's been your most memorable EMR moment within the community, within Patrol?
So my most memorable was probably my first one. It was in Zone 8, which is the Grapeseed Sandy Shore area on the highway. It was a bus rollover. I believe we had 14 victims of that. And I got to respond to the Sandy Shore Fire Station, grab Medic 3, and I responded. We immediately when I got there, we immediately put somebody in the back of my ambulance. We started occlusive dressing, and I did a rapid transport to Pillbox Medical Center in Los Santos.
Very exciting. Must have had your heart going.
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Well, listen, I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to meet with me on the podcast today. You're listening to the Mounties Gaming Podcast. We'll talk to you soon, Corporal Tyler.
Thank you.
All right, the Mounties Gaming Podcast is here with Corporal Phase. Corporal Phase, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good. Welcome to the Mounties Gaming Podcast. It's good to have you here. How long have you been in the community?
Well, so far it's going on towards 6 months after I rejoined, but I was in and out most of the time. So.
And how did you first discover Mounties Gaming community?
Engine recruitment.
Okay. And what was SATC like for you? Were you nervous for your interview? Were you when you first came on in the community, when you first interviewed, how nerve-wracking was that?
Well, I was a little nervous with the interview phase, but it went along pretty well. Staff Sergeant Hire, back then he was a corporal who did my interview. He did it very professionally, and he made me calm down and set me up for success. So here I am today.
Excellent. And what was the most difficult part about SATC when you were first coming up?
A whole new process. It's like, I'll be honest, usually when people been in past other communities, they think it's pretty much the same, but it wasn't the case with Mounties Gaming. It was a lot more stuff to learn and grasp. But if I have to say, most was the co-driving, I would say.
Okay. And what was the most memorable? What do you remember most about SATC other than that?
I was doing those scenarios with Constable Andy at the time, who was my instructor, doing a scenario where a guy with a gun, he pointed a gun, and my job was to handle that situation. And all I can say, it was a pretty intense situation for me, but it has to be my most memorable.
Excellent. It's a great memory. Tell us about recruitment, retention, and the team you're on, what it's all about. What do you do?
Well, my main goal upon joining this community was to be part of recruitment retention. And basically recruitment and retention is, I'll go over recruitment first and then retention. Recruitment is basically where members like us set up new members up for success by doing their onboarding process, answer any question they might have, or, show them around how it is like here, basically be their guides. And
okay.
Retention side of things is we do our job, we recruit people, but we want to find a way to retain members as well. And that's where retention comes, is our job to figure out ways to retain members. And let's say sometimes, we cannot force them to stay and they have to leave due to whatever reason. We, do their interview, ask how their experience was here, if they felt like it was how they expected it to be upon joining, anything they wish would have been different. We ask that and we implement that later on down the line. So we get our, guidelines from our community members and we set it up.
Excellent. So how long have you been in recruitment retention?
It's going for about to be 4 months next month. So.
Excellent. And what's your short-term focus? What are you working on right now within recruitment and retention?
Well, the recruitment side of things is starting to look really good, and I want to now a little bit start focus on retention side of things. So I'm figuring out what daily ways, talking to my team to figure out how we can make retention more ongoing thing here in the community.
Okay. And what are your long-term goals in the community? Where do you hope to be in a year from now or 5 years from now?
Hopefully still part of Mounties gaming community, maybe, be more up in command staff line and teach other newcomers how I worked my way up and how you can do it, like make a follow a guideline or no, have a main dad or a role model for myself at that time.
Right. So describe for me what your most memorable moment has been in patrols, aside from SATC, the San Andreas Training Center, and your training moments. Describe sort of what your most memorable memory is within Mounties gaming.
I would have to say my first ever shots fired called in this community.
Describe it for me. What happened?
Well, this is like pretty recent, I would have to say. It was me, Corporal, and I'm a supervisor for my zone, and my officer responded to a complaint where on the road complaints, hey, I've told the constable there that there's this guy who's selling drugs around here. And constable approached him and asked him question and then requested supervisor, so I'm responded to his call. As soon as I arrive, all I hear is shots coming out, and the constable on the ground. He was hit on the chest multiple times with a bullet. He was not responsive. I came up to him, moved him aside, and started calling for backups, and SRT was on his way as well. So upon arrival, we handled the situation. The constable was critically injured. We rushed him to the hospital. I was shot in the shoulder. It wasn't as major as him, but that constable there made it, so pretty memorable.
No doubt. Got your adrenaline flowing, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really intense, and my first actual big supervisor call, I would have to say.
Right on. Excellent. What would you say has what's one thing that you would change within Mounties gaming if you had the power, if it was, if you were the boss? What's one thing that you would change for the better?
Well, there's a thing, like, we set it out to be a community for the public. It's not a clan anymore, but I feel like it still feels like a clan. I want to make it more environmental, like for members to have more games to play. We do our main GTA 5 roleplay, that's fine. That's what mainly people come for, but
exactly.
I feel like there should be more community side of things, not just GTA 5 and ARMA 3.
Excellent. Well, maybe that's something you can work on as you work your way up into command staff. And on behalf of the podcast, I just want to say thanks for being here, and great interview, and thanks for your time, Faiz.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a great day. All right. Stripped down and drenched in carbon fiber, the hijack Rustin is a lightweight and pint-sized packet of fury. It might not win any safety awards, but the Rustin's low profile gets you as close to the tarmac as you're ever going to want to be. So nestle in and brace yourself for some tight turns and even tighter clenches. A unique and elegant addition to the sports class, the hijack Rustin is now available in GTA Online at Legendary Motorsports. This is Constable Torque with the Mounties Gaming Podcast, and I'm here today with Corporal Blackhawk from the Traffic Unit. He's the Traffic Unit NCO. G'day, Blackhawk. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Excellent. I have a few questions for you. Basically, I want to know, what does the Traffic Unit do? What's your focus?
Well, other than it being in the title itself, Traffic Services pretty much provides more advanced traffic enforcement to the province of San Andreas. We focus heavily on major roads and highways, any types of traffic-related calls, incidents, motor vehicle collisions, traffic stops, your basic, just anything that has to involve the road with vehicles, we're pretty much involved in some way.
Okay, so a lot of 1011s?
Yes, there is quite a bit of 1011s.
And just for those that don't know, 1011 is a traffic stop. But is it all you focus on?
No, it's not all we focus on. We do quite a bit of things. As I said before, motor vehicle collisions is one thing we do. We have a few constables within the unit itself that are particularly certified with collision reconstruction. So if a major accident does happen, they'll be dispatched out to the call, and they will proceed to investigate and gather any details they might need for a report. We also are used with in coalition with other units. Sometimes they'll request our help with things such as warrants, like serving a warrant or escorts, things of that nature, pretty much.
Okay. What about high-speed pursuit?
Yes, that's one of our specialties. If a pursuit were to happen to break out, we try to get our traffic constables there as quickly as possible. We are trained in more advanced techniques when it comes to pursuit training than a regular constable would be. So we try our hardest to take charge of the pursuit and to pretty much end it in a safe way, both safe to the people, the public, as well as our constables.
Okay, and how do you get into traffic? Who do you have to talk to?
Well, pretty much to get into traffic, we're all kind of recruitment officers in ourselves here. Pretty much, if someone's interested, they'll just contact a traffic constable and say, "Hey, I'm interested in joining." They'll then relay that information to me, and I'll bring them in, have a little chat with them, give them kind of some few questions. You can kind of count it as their interview, and I'll screen them. I'll talk with their watch sergeant or whoever their supervisor is, and then we'll come up with a final decision whether they're eligible to be transferred to traffic services or not.
And is it difficult to get in?
You could say so. I don't just let any regular person into my unit. If you want to join traffic, you gotta show some special traits. Show that you're willing to learn more. Show that you're willing to serve. You can be very active within the community. You can comprehend and understand multiple subjects that you wouldn't normally be taught. You got to be able to react quickly to certain things. There's a lot of things that you get taught in traffic that doesn't get taught in just your average like SATC.
Okay, which kind of answers my next question. What makes a good traffic officer, and what are you looking for?
Well, pretty much, as I said, activity is a very important aspect. Being active in the community, getting the word out, showing people that traffic is a thing, and then we're always there. That's a very important thing. Mostly all patrols, we have at least 1 to 2, maybe 3 traffic constables at a minimum in a patrol. We always strive to have someone there because there's always a time when a traffic constable is needed. It's just showing HIPCAR as course, and as well as exemplifying their service within the community, willingness to learn, willingness to always improve, things of that nature.
Okay, and for the officers involved in the traffic unit, the members of the traffic unit, what is the most enjoyable aspect for them as a member to enjoy?
Well, I'd probably have to say just, interacting with each other and just being a part of a great team. It's kind of different joining traffic. People, we do different things, and lets people learn and get that experience from a different side of the line, other than just your general duty enforcement. We just kind of take care of different things. We wear a little bit different uniform, drive different vehicles. It's just being in that smaller group of people instead of within a larger group of other constables. We get to learn more about each other and get to bond and get to know each other a lot better. It's just kind of a small team bond, and it's really important.
So, what's your monthly goal for the month of April?
The month of April, we're gonna start focusing heavily on auto theft or vehicle theft, whichever way you want to put it. We're gonna start cracking down on stolen vehicles. We'll do some ALPR checkpoints every now and then, which is automatic license plate reader. We will be setting those up on highways, seeing any plates that may be stolen. We'll be conducting some bait car operations, things of that nature, pretty much.
Sounds very interesting. Any special events planned for the month of April?
As of right now, we currently don't have anything special planned, but we do have a few things in mind. We may have our first traffic services games night sometime in the month of April. I'm looking forward to getting that out there, just so members can bond with traffic and pretty much everybody bond together, have some fun. As well as we're making a few during patrols, some prisoner escorts going in. Maybe get the big bus out and take some prisoners from certain detachments to the prison out in Sandy Shores. So I was thinking about adding that in there as well.
That's terrific. All right, well, Corporal Blackhawk, thank you very much for your time and interviewing for the podcast.
Yep, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
We'll talk soon. Take care. You've been listening to the Mounties Gaming Podcast.